Hello everyone! Today I offer you a quick guide on the different movement mechanics in Deadlock, starting off with the most basic and fundamental movement mechanics in the game, escalating in difficulty throughout the video, with some practical examples along the way. Starting off with the dash. If you don't know how to use the dash, either check your keybinds or just play the tutorial, man. It only takes a couple minutes. The dash jump. Surprisingly, this isn't in the tutorial, but to summarize, in order to execute the dash jump, you must jump during your dash with a very specific timing. In order to know this timing, your stamina bar does turn blue for a brief moment during your dash. That would be your timing. This is quite possibly the most used and most useful movement mechanic in the game. There's even an item built around it for crying out loud, which is why I'm really surprised why it's not in the tutorial. Sliding after a dash, just sliding. If you have played other games with a slide mechanic, this should be pretty familiar, but to those who haven't, you're gonna have to learn, as sliding is not only one of the most useful movement mechanics, but it's also one of the most versatile, as there are plenty of ways to slide around the map. And it also grants you infinite ammo, which allows you to do shit like this. In order to execute a slide, you must press your crouch key while you're either moving fast enough, which can be achieved by a number of ways, or are on a slope and moving down the slope. You can easily achieve a slidable speed by dashing normally, or with a dash jump. Which leads me on to say that coming from a dash jump slide, you're also able to hop while sliding, which allows you to cover even more distance. It's not too much to add to get a better result in your movement. You may ask yourself, well, why would I do this if dashing multiple times is just easier? Well, first of all, if you're running for your life and burning all your stamina by just dashing, and your opponent knows how to dash, jump, and slide effectively, they're using less stamina to cover more distance than you, and you're probably just gonna die because of that. And second of all, if you're chasing an enemy, they have good movement, good luck catching them. Anyways, on to air strafing. Yes, it is in this game. However, not as potent as it would be in, say, Team Fortress 2, but it is still quite useful for movement. For those unfamiliar, in Source games and some other games like Valorant, air strafing is when you can control your character mid-air while moving. Simplest and easiest way for me to explain this would be to say that all you need to really do is look in the direction you're moving, press your left or right strafe key depending on where you want to go, and only that key, and while you hold that strafe key, you slowly look in that same direction, and you'll find yourself moving in the air, in the direction that you want to go to. A very crude and, in hindsight, really stupid example of this would be to look at how a plane works. If you want to go left, the left wing goes down, and then you look in that same direction, which is left. Simple physics. Wait, what's this? Oh. Practical example of a character that can very often take advantage of air strafing would be Lash, using his grapple. Let's say I'm about to die and I want to escape here, but the only thing I can grapple to is this Infernus. If I don't use any inputs, or if I just try to move towards where I want to go, I'll hit the wall and I'll probably die. Now, if I use what I learned and air strafe during my grapple, I'll be able to round the corner and escape quite easily. Alright, well that's enough for the sandbox, let's hop into the real map. You may find yourself using ziplines a lot on the map. A very useful movement technique on ziplines would be to, instead of jumping off a zipline, you would hold crouch to dismount from the zipline, which conserves a lot of your momentum. You should then be able to dash or jump after dismounting from the zipline in order to keep your momentum going, allowing you to cover massive amounts of ground and to catch your opponent off guard or to get to the front lines faster. Mystic Leap is an active item that allows you to jump far into the air and come crashing down from the air. Now, after using the second use of Mystic Leap in the air, you'll come diving down, and you can use your dash or a jump to extend your horizontal movement. This allows for very quick rotates. Superior Stamina is an item that increases the amount of times that you can jump and dash in the air to 2 instead of just 1, which allows for a lot more flexibility in your movement in the air. Something that I don't see a lot of people considering is the fact that you can melee around corners. This is not necessarily the best movement tech that you can have, but it is definitely worth knowing, especially knowing that someone can do this to you. On the map, there are several places where there are 2 or more staircases, very close together, which allows you to slide down them, making for quick rotates. For the rest of the video, I will showcase a few of these places on the screen, but that is all I have for today. I know this is barely scratching the surface on what movement is in this game, and you probably all already knew a lot of these, but if even one person learned anything from this video, I'll be happy. And I'll also be happy to make even more Deadlock videos, so just let me know what you want to see in the comments. And if you liked the video, feel free to give it a like as well. This has been Dari, and I'll see you in the next one.